Hello everyone, I hope you all have been doing very well. I have been missing out on a couple weeks of uploading and I apologize. I've been pretty busy with work and among other things, but I have not stopped recording all of my progress in RuneScape. So I'm happy to try to dish that out and get a couple of videos out to you guys as soon as possible so that we can catch up and be up to date on our most recent weekly progress for our RuneScape account here. Last video we ended with 97 farming, and as the video or the title of the video suggested, we are trying to grind out that 99 farming for the farming cave, as well as, just to get a 99. It's always nice to go for that max cape eventually. And so this is just a bunch of clips compiled of doing all of my herb runs along with the allotments, squeezing in a lot of these palm tree seed runs, or not palm tree seeds, but palm tree runs, along with hespori and calquats and mahoganies and everything else in between that I can do to really push out that 99. Now that we have a farming pet, we don't really need to be concerned as much about not getting the pet before our max level here. So yeah, let's see. For the grind, I just want to kind of talk about the farming grind in general. First of all, I love the skill. If you haven't really noticed already, it really is suitable for my RuneScape playstyle, which is I get to sneak in an herb run here and there in between work. So if I'm working, and I do work remote, so I can take a break every hour and take 10 to 15 minutes going on an herb run, collect a couple 100k GP. That's just how I operate, casually day to day. So it really suited my play style, and I know it's not for everyone where they have to wait for something to grow and kind of have that time gapped. But again, once you have the time, or if you do have the time, you can just go and do some Slayer like I did. So it basically, farming is suitable for everyone, and for casuals, for hardcore players. It's really fast XP, really good money, and I highly recommend people to do it. I know some people may argue about the whole min-maxing thing, where you can say that you can make double the money for doing 4cath instead of doing farming. Just if you don't have time to just grind out 4cath every once in a while, or you just want to kind of lay your eyes off the screen for and you just want to play passively, this is going to be right for you. So I highly recommend, highly encourage for you to get on this skilling. But yeah, spoilers ahead, you will see it eventually, but I do end up getting 99 farming this week. It took me about 2.5 days per level, so I believe I got the last 99 level Friday or Saturday with like a day or two to spare. That just kind of goes to show you how fast and quickly you can get on this. Especially if you incorporate all of the trees and use the highest level of herbs and allotments they can use, which is, for me, was snakegrass and toadstools. They really do add up with you getting around at least 10k XP per allotment and herb run. So, and over time that adds up a lot. You end up getting thousands and thousands of XP in no time. So I guess my tip for you would be focus on the cheaper trees first. So those are the calquats. Hespori isn't a tree, but it's definitely one of them if you have access to that. And mahogany trees in the fossil island. Those are going to be your best bet for the best chunk of XP that you can collect every couple days. And along with that, herbs are going to be your best friend for recuperating some of the money back you're going to be spending for the trees or the fruit trees. And if you're not doing the fruit trees or the trees, because they're quite expensive, to be honest, a couple of mil at least. So if you don't want to spend that much amount of money, or if you want to try to make some of the money back, herbs are herbs are definitely going to be your best friend, along with the usage of the ultra compost bin, or the bottomless bucket, I mean, with the ultra compost in it. It basically gives you free composting at a certain point because you get double the compost that you put into the bottomless bucket. So eventually you end up making your money back when you compost enough. So highly recommend you to invest in that if you don't have one. And unfortunately, during my 99 grind, I didn't get a farmer's outfit, and I should have done that. I thought about doing it for the last remainder of the couple XP that I have left for my 99 when I was 98, but again, my way of playing RuneScape didn't really allow for me to that, because I can't really actively grind RuneScape if during work or whatnot. So just resorted to casually picking up the trees. Like over here, you can see me just checking the health for the farming contracts. Oh, also for the farming contract, highly recommend. Let me see right now. I have my RuneScape pulled up that you can't really see, but my seed packs, I opened up 119, and out of those 119 seed packs that I opened, I've netted 5.4 mil from that. So it definitely adds up, especially with like all the magic, the use, the palm tree seeds that you get. You end up making a lot of money for it. So do your farming contracts, do your cheap trees, do your herbs, use the bottomless bucket, and also use the anima patch if you also have that as well. Highly recommend. And yeah, do the tithing farm if you have the time for that. It's really good, especially if you get in on that early levels, because the trees will give you a lot more XP than it usually does. And yeah, just keep at it. Work it around your schedule. If you're at a if you're someone who likes to do a lot of PVM, for example, if you do a lot of Slayer, or if you do a lot of boss killings, every Slayer task or every hour that you do boss, go ahead and take a break and do some farming runs. It really adds up as you keep doing in between other activities, and that's what it's really for, honestly, and that's what I really like about it. And since it is something that you incorporate with other activities throughout your day, RuneScape and non-RuneScape related, I highly recommend also doing birdhouse runs with your farming runs, especially with mahogany runs if you do those, because that allows you to kind of bypass the need to pay your mahogany trees with the hops, because they do cost a little bit. It's definitely worth paying, and it's not too much money, but if you don't want to really pay for that, you can just kind of monitor for any diseased trees as you do your birdhouse runs every hour or so. So highly recommend doing that as well. But yeah, just selling off the remainder of the 99 loot here. I believe this, I got like 20 something mil from that 98 to 99, I believe. It can be 97 to 99 as well, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, as you can see, it does net you quite a bit of money. Not too much. It's definitely not going to be profitable as, you know, some of the other higher end content, but it definitely does add up, and it is nice if you ever need some spare cash. Other than the intense farming grind that I've done this week, I have done a lot of, or not a lot of, but a couple of Tombs of Amasket runs. I mainly did the entry modes as I was still learning the mechanics and trying to get used to all of the boss rooms and the puzzle rooms. So still on the slower side of the completion time, roughly 40 to 50 minutes in total. But we are learning to get that time trimmed up, as well as make less mistakes so that we don't have to use so many supplies. So yeah, the loot itself was pretty bad as well, but again, this was just some learner raids, and it was just mainly for learning, so getting a little bit of money back for that learning isn't too bad. We'll definitely make it back once we get into the normal invocations and really getting some, not too much money, but once we see that purple, it'll definitely pay off. So until then, we are just getting to the point where we make less and less mistakes, making sure that we know all the mechanics properly, and just kind of get used to the whole raid. Doing it with a duo really helps. I think duo is the sweet spot here. Solo is definitely very easy as well, in my experience and opinion. But if you have a duo, it really helps you clear some of the last, or some of the crucial steps where it's a little bit harder, like the last warden stage, where you have to dodge all the flying objects and you have to hit at the same time. I end up missing a lot of my hits and end up dying, but if you have a partner who can kind of carry you through the steps there, then definitely helpful, especially if you guys have communication over, voice call and things like that. So yeah, other than that, this week I also focused on a lot of Slayer stuff in between my herb runs. I did about 7 Slayer tasks, I believe. And then I just crossed over the 200th task mark, where I got 450 Slayer points as a reward, giving me a total of almost 700 Slayer points for if I ever want another rune pouch, or if I want to buy more extension rewards from the Slayer Master to increase the kill count that's given to me per Slayer kill. So just accumulating all those points. I got to 83 Slayer, working my way up to 85 for the Abyssal Demons. And so slowly but surely grind that out and do the Konar Slayer Master for the Brimstone keys, because those actually give a lot more money than I expected, and they're definitely worth doing if you want to open up some keys and get some valuable loot, like the dragon. I think it's the dragon dart, not the dart tips, but dragon arrow tips, I think. I forgot exactly which one it was, but it can get you like 400k GP at a time, and that's pretty huge. So I highly recommend doing Konar if you don't have it already. And eventually I will want to go back to Duradel for, what's it called? The regular tasks where it's not limited to a specific location, so I can maybe do bossing in the future, but we'll get that later. Other than that, we also did some quests, the wanted quests as well as the slug menace. I did those two primarily because the slug menace is a requirement for this hard clue step that I needed to do, where I needed to play a music for the girl on the Valador Park Bridge. So I need to get that done, as well as buy the Proselyte armor, which is an upgrade from the Initiate armor for Slayer tasks, but it's also needed for the Valador achievement diary. And I end up doing a couple of achievement diaries this week and the upcoming weeks, for all of the quality of life stuff, like the Bone Crusher, the Desert Amulet, what else? The Camelot teleport toggle from Camelot to Sears Village, just a little bit of things like that. I just want to push out all of the achievement diaries at least to the hard level, so that I can get all of those little tiny perks that they have to offer. Especially with the, what's it called, the Karis Partisan that came out with the Raise 3, I can use that in the Calphite Queens, and if I ever get a Calphite task, I can use the 2 ropes in the layers, or the Calphite layer, and if I have the hard task done, then I won't need to bring the ropes every time, it'll stay there forever, so that'll be like an improvement for me. And so this week I kind of worked on getting that done. And also, since I am learning Raids 3, I went to do the Mage Arena 1 and 2, not the Mage Arena, is it called the Mage Arena? Yeah, Mage Arena 1 and 2, for the Imbued Cape. That'll allow me to give me a switch between the Fire Cape, the Mage Cape, and the Avas, so that I have a nice little consistent switch that I can use in Raids 3. So I end up getting that as well, and you'll see you already saw the Mage Arena 1 clip earlier, but you'll see the second one later. But yeah, this week pretty much grinded out everything. As you can see, I do the Ardone hard diary here, and just grinding that out. Pretty enjoyable. I end up learning like a few different stuff, like some of the teleport methods, what's the best way to get this and that, learning and making use of the spicy stews for boosting my stats. Yeah, just playing RuneScape and doing things outside of my comfort zone really gets me to learn and grow, not just not just with my RuneScape character, but with myself as I start to record this video and kind of just talk to myself, but for the sake of talking to you guys. And that just, I don't know, gets me out of the comfort zone. I like it, gives me a challenge, gives me some sort of fulfillment. So I'm gonna keep going on that. And speaking of fulfillment, we do end up grinding some clue scrolls as well, hopefully to get some of the rare loots. Unfortunately, we don't really get anything in this Master's Quest. I'm not even able to do this just yet, I believe. But hey, at least I'm trying, right? So yeah, all the clue scrolls, I do a couple of mediums and hards and things like that. Don't really end up getting anything. The loot, the value is pretty mediocre, but eventually we'll get something. And also eventually I end up just accumulating the chests as well, so that I can open them all up later as like a bundle. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I get a couple levels this week too. 69 thieving, eventually 170 for the 75 boost that I need to do for a couple of achievement diaries. I also get a strength level here, 96, and I end up getting a rune crafting levels up to 65. I want to get 77 eventually for the blood runes, because I do AFK a lot, and apparently blood runes is very AFK and easy money, so I'll have to put in the work for that first. But yeah, let's see what else happens here this week. Yeah, just a bunch of more achievement diary stuff, getting them out of the way. A bunch of other quests like the Grim Tales and and killing the giant mole on Old School. I've only killed a couple of them in RS3 before, so getting that kill count was pretty fun. Didn't really understand the mechanics too well. I know the gist of it. You just pray melee with Darox while you're 1 HP and just try to smash the thing down while trying to look for it when it runs away. But yeah, got that done. Continuing with a bunch of these other tasks, pretty enjoyable, honestly, for the most part. And oh yeah, and just to kind of rant or give like some commentary over the Mage 2 for the imbued cape, this was pretty stressful, not going to lie, because running around the wilderness naked, just trying to make ends meet, and getting the whole thing is just such a pain. But it only took about an hour or so to complete the whole thing, maybe a little bit more than that, because at one point the Saradomin one, it spawned next to a Chaos Alley, and they both kept shredding me down, so I had to get my friend to help me kill the Chaos Alley while I kill the Sarah. So with that, eventually I got the mini quest done, as well as got the imbued cape, and that's just gonna be a huge upgrade for anything mage related, especially in the raids 3 raids. So really glad I got that out of the way. I'll eventually get the other imbued capes. I only got the Zami one. I do want the Guthix and the Saradomin one, just to have it. Why not? And but that'll be for later, because it's not really important right now. But yeah, that's pretty much all I did this week. It doesn't seem like too much, but trust me, there was like over 4 hours worth of footage just for the showcasing, so a lot of hours went into grinding this week. The following week I'm gonna have a lot more as well. I will probably group them and just try to knock these out as fast as I can, so I can get you guys up to date on the most recent stuff, which I feel like has more fun stuff, especially with the Race 3 and many other things coming out. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon, hopefully, on our next video. Hope you guys take care of yourselves, and see you next time.